What's up, YouTube world? Thank you for watching another one of my videos. For those of you that are new to this channel, my name is NurseK. I am a registered nurse who works in the ED, and I am considered a new grad. So I wanted to make a channel to basically document my first year as a nurse and kind of that transition phase going into from a nursing student to a new grad. So if you are a nursing student, if you are a registered nurse, you're a new grad like myself, or if you're an OG nurse and you want to drop some knowledge on me, subscribe down below, hit that smash button, like, comment, tell me what you guys think, tell me what you guys want to see, and with that being said, let's do it together, guys. Let's get started. Make a video and kind of talk about how I studied through nursing school and what helped me and what worked for me. Before nursing school, when I did my prereqs, it was amazing. I got all A's and B's. I was a good student, 3.0, blah, blah, blah. As soon as I got into nursing school, let me tell you, my first semester, I passed with a 0.5. No lie. Like, you needed a 75 to pass. I passed with a 74.5. So I understand what you guys are going through. I understand the struggle, and I kind of want to tell you how I made it and how I went from being a C student to all A's and B's. So the first thing that I kind of had to understand, how do I study? What benefits me? Like, you can ask yourself, do you need to do study groups? Do you think study groups will help you? Do you think that, studying alone, are you a reader? You have to read the whole chapter. Are you not a reader? Like me. And that doesn't help you. So you kind of have to decipher based on your personality and your experiences this far, what works best for you. After you do that, the formula that I did, are you ready for the formula that helped me get A's and B's in nursing school? The first thing that I did was, before class, I would go over the entire PowerPoint. So it's like 100 slides. It's a lot. So I wouldn't read the book because it was a waste of my time. I spent way too much time trying to legit read every single page that they wanted us to read, and it took so much time for me to read it, and I wasn't absorbing anything, and like I was still getting C's on these exams. So what I did was, you can skim the chapters if you want to kind of see what you're going over, or go over the PowerPoints. That's what I did. I went through every single PowerPoint. Sometimes they have little notes at the bottom of each PowerPoint slide, so I would read those and kind of make sure I knew what we were going to be talking about during class. Step 2, obviously, go to class. I know it's hard. I know we're all adults. I know, things happen. You have other responsibilities, totally understandable. But try to make it to class as much as you possibly can, because you might miss something. They might focus on something that isn't in the notes or whatever. So I always tried to make sure that I made it to class. And then number 3 was that week, that night, or anytime before the next lecture, I would go over the material as if I was studying for the exam, like for the literal exam already. It's too much. It's a lot of material. It's so much. Like, how are you having 100 slides per chapter? You have 4 chapters on the exam. That's 400 slides that could potentially be on the exam. There's no way you can cram study for that. And if you can, and if you are doing that and you are amazing at that, then why are you watching this right now? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. But there are people like that there were people like that I went to school with. They could cram study 3 days before the exam and like pass with flying colors, and I don't know how they did it, but that didn't work for me. So this is worked for me. So just make sure that you're looking at the material before school. Make sure you go to class, and then after that, study, like get prepared as if you're already studying. If the test is 3 weeks away, you should already be studying for it and getting prepared for it. That kind of helped me not feel so overwhelmed. It's a lot to deal with. So try to break it down to yourself. Like say, okay, I already got that covered. I already got that. I'm good with that. I can just review it, the weekend before the exam. That would be the fourth time you're looking at it. So repetition is key. Okay, so that was my little first formula. Second formula was organizing my notes. So I have some of my notes here. Don't judge me. So I think it'll be easier if I do a voiceover to kind of go over my notes. I like lots of color on my notes, so we're going to talk about cirrhosis. So the first thing I do is write down what disease process I'm going to be talking about, and I highlight the crap out of it. Next, I define it, so the patho or the etiology. So then next will be the risk factors, so what patients are at risk for this disease. And so, as you can tell on there, I absolutely adore and love mnemonics. Mnemonics was key in life for me in nursing school. So I just made up something that would help me remember and kind of try to organize it in my head. Honestly, I don't remember what it is now, but it helped and I did okay on the test. So I would recommend making any type of mnemonic that can help make it easier for you. Next is signs and symptoms. What is this patient going to look like? So it looks like it was kind of important to know the early and late stages. Again, I use mnemonics, and I don't remember what they are now, but they help. So the next thing is diagnostic. What labs are going to be done to basically define if this patient really has this disease? What labs are you going to be looking at? You got the signs and symptoms, you have the risk factors for it. What is going to tell you the defining answer of somebody either in liver failure or cirrhosis? It's a little bit more information on the backside. I'm just talking, blah, 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 blah. So obviously liver biopsy is the diagnostic for cirrhosis. So that's a little bit information about that. And then last would be last would be treatments. I didn't put it on here, but are you going to cure this patient or are you going to maintain the disease that they have? So that is key and that is essential. Always remember that. That's how I did it. I like lots of color. I like lots of different things because if it's all black or if it's just all blue, it just blends in. And so when I'm taking the test, if I'm thinking about it, I can go back and remember, oh, okay, well, this was blue or this was pink. I don't know. It just helped me. So organization. So what is the disease process that you're studying? What's the definition, patho or etiology of it? What patients are at risk for getting this disease? What are the signs and symptoms? What's the patient going to look like, right? And then the next one is diagnostic. What are you going to use? What labs are going to be used to diagnose this disease? And then after that, what's the treatment? Are you going to maintain or are you going to fix it? So here's another example of my notes. So this one's hypovolemic shock. So that is the disease process. It's kind of important. So the definition, the patho, or the etiology. The next one is the signs and symptoms. So this one's a little different. It doesn't have a risk factor or diagnostic on here. But I mean, if a patient comes in to trauma, it's a trauma in the ER, it's a car accident, they're at risk for abdominal bleeding, internal bleeding. So that could be a diagnostic for it. Could be a fast exam, low blood pressure, high heart rate. That means they're compensating, right? low H&H can be some diagnostics for it. So this was a little vague, but I kind of wanted to show you just another one where this one's kind of geared a little bit more to the signs and symptoms as well. So that's that. And then the treatments of the how you're going to treat it. Are we going to cure it, or are we going to maintain it? So just a little bit more information about that. So just wanted to give you guys another example, but as you can tell, I keep circling signs and symptoms. So it's just saying that the signs and symptoms is a little bit more important, right? So that's how I did it. This helped me. Repetition is key. If you break it down like that, it's a little easier to remember. Also, study groups. Study groups are important to you. When I was in nursing school, I joined a study group, and I was really shy and quiet, and I really didn't talk very much. But then as the time went on, I saw that one of the girls was doing like really, really good. Like this girl was like bomb. She knew everything. She was brilliant, like brilliant. I kind of was like, all right, I'm struggling. This girl's apparently getting all A's. Like, what are you doing, man? Like, what are you doing? So I joined her study group, and it helped me tremendously. It showed that I wasn't very detailed, so it's important to be detailed. Even if you don't think something's important, that could be on the test. You don't know. That could be something that you may need to know when you start your nursing career. So join the right group. Don't join just with your friends because they're your friends. Join with somebody that you're going to actually learn from. Find out if reading is good for you. If not, just as long as you come prepared for class, as long as you go to class, repeat, blah, blah, blah. Just make sure that you stay up to date. Don't get behind. I remember when I was in school, I watched a video, and it was Nurse Bass, actually. He said, you are going to be taking care of somebody one day. Study like it. And it's so true. I mean, this isn't just like fun and games. It's not just anatomy. It's not physiology. You can't just go, 5 days without studying and expect to do well. Like that's just not how it is. It's tough. It's hard. But you can do it. You can do it. And I know you can. So with that being said, that's all I have for you guys. I hope this helps at least just one person. Even if it just helps one person, I am A-okay with that. So with that being said, guys, comment, don't forget to subscribe, and tell me what you guys want to hear. Tell me things that, tips that helped you whenever you study that I didn't go over, and what you guys would like to see me talk about. So with that being said, for the 100th time, until next time, be safe.